people, Deluded, I'm back again. Why I'm smiling, I don't know why, because I'm actually scared, and that's the point of making this vid. Now, as you see, Newcastle, I believe some Saudi Arabian businessmen or owners of whatever they own are trying to buy Newcastle. First and foremost, I believe Newcastle deserve that. They're a heavily supported club in terms of support. They're one of the biggest supported clubs in England. I do believe, some of their fans are some of the most loyal. I do think they've had to deal with a lot of BS by Mike Ashley, and I think just for football, it's a victory that Mike Ashley, at least with Newcastle is concerned, his involvement with them will cease to exist, and I think Newcastle deserve that. We'll never know how owners react. We've seen big money owners come into clubs and get things wrong, and we've seen owners be at clubs for 5 minutes and then move on. Don't have any examples, but my point is we don't know how serious they are. But I see Newcastle, and we have been seeing Newcastle as a team where if one of these big boy Saudi Arabian sort of rich people or rich Russian oligarchs wanted to come and invest in, I know Newcastle doesn't have the London factor, and people might look at Newcastle. I know it's got a thriving nightlife, but I think, why Newcastle? It's heavily underpriced, it's heavily undervalued, and it's one of the most supported, so there's opportunity there. So it was a matter of time. It will probably take Newcastle a few years to get it right. Like you saw with City spending, you have to probably make some dud signings. There might be some chopping and changing, and you need to get, there's going to be a teething period. But if we were to just say their trajectory is going to be like Manchester City's, then that doesn't spell good news for my team, Arsenal. I know people criticise money and saying you buy stuff and people shouldn't be able to come and spend whole heaps of cash. And obviously FFP would be at play with Newcastle to a degree. And they probably need to sign, City went for Robinho, that was the first star signing, and then things followed. And I know people would say you shouldn't be able to come and spend money and buy leagues and buy success. I get all of that and I share that to a degree. But on the other hand, I think if an owner has genuine good intentions, then they should be allowed to spend what they want. And obviously, because of how Arsenal are financially, because of how we are on the football pitch, we're bloody ninth. If you told me moving to the Emirates we was going to be finishing ninth and doing what we're doing, we would have said you're a liar. Funny how life works. It doesn't spell good news for Arsenal, because in the next 5 years you don't really know what Arsenal's going to be. We're hoping we get Champions League football. We're betting on Martinelli, Saka, two great young players, and all these great young players to kind of carry us, and it's not really fair on them. You look at our landscape in the next 5 years, it's top 6, could it be top 10? Could we furtherly slip away from the abyss? And it does fill me with concern, really and truly, because in the next 5 years they could complicate things. Because imagine if Abramovich didn't buy Chelsea, no disrespect to Chelsea, or City didn't get bought by who they got bought by. We might be in a better position, but I think clubs' investment should be allowed to happen, and it makes it more competitive from a neutral point of view. And why not? If they genuinely want to get somewhere as footballing people and want to do good by Newcastle, apparently they won't even bring Rafa Benitez back. Why not? I think they should. But for me, it's difficult because, obviously the only thing, again, they have no star players. It will take a while. Again, it's fickle, but the London factor, it probably took a while for City to convince players to move to Manchester. Obviously United are in Manchester, but it's bloody Manchester United. Now you can see City, Pep Guardiola, they've won Premier Leagues and all of these sort of things. So it will take Newcastle a while, but it does fill me with a bit of... it does make me a bit shook, people. Again, they can't go out there and spend 100 million on a player as soon as they get taken over, because there's FFP. But if they want to do it bad enough, they can. There's always ways to exploit rules. There's always ways around things. So it does scare me. But from a Newcastle point of view, again, we'll never know how this tenure could turn out, because it could just be the same thing, but with different owners. But I hope it's not. And I want Newcastle fans to have some sort of happiness, man, because I really don't like how football fans, the fact that we're very loyal and we'll buy all the tickets and the shirts and we'll moan about the team, but we'll be there again. I think clubs take advantage of that, and I think Newcastle fans they've clearly been taking advantage of for a while now. Newcastle fans have been through a mad thing, really. For the specifics of the deal, courtesy of the Financial Times, in case I haven't said it anyways, people, an investment group led by Saudi Arabia's Sovereign Wealth Fund has reached a 300 million deal to acquire Newcastle Football Club from UK retail tycoon Mike Ashley. 3 people with direct knowledge of the matter told Financial Times. If completed, the deal will deliver another deep-pocketed Middle Eastern investor to global football. Saudi Arabia's public index fund, which is steered by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, is putting roughly 80% of the all-cash 300 million purchase, the people said. So again, in the next, if they truly are, if it's more than just an investment and diversifying your portfolio and it becomes somewhat, a love child like it became with Cities or PSGs, it becomes a love child. They're in love with real life FIFA, trying to make Newcastle winners and Premier League and Champions League and all of these things. It's scary for Arsenal because, we can't compete with Saudi money because Kroenke don't want to do that thing. So we're relying on our scouts, we're relying on our culture like Arteta even more now. And we need coaching and scouting to do jobs for us. But again, in the belly of the beast, trying to be romantic in a time where you shouldn't be, it's stupid. It's tadpole swimming with sharks. It's bringing knives to gunfights, sort of thing. It don't make no sense, people. So we'll see how it goes, really and truly, man. So we'll see. But it does scare me for maybe not in the immediate future, but the next 5 years. Because I can't tell you where Arsenal's going to be in 5 years. Nobody can. But you can imagine United, again, it's easy to say, but United will be in and about the Champions League or trying to win the league or doing what they're still doing. Do you get it? Chelsea probably do the same. City will probably be up there. Liverpool, it's funny how things work, but Liverpool potentially will still be there and about. I hope Spurs ain't, but you don't know what Spurs are going to do, which is good for me. I don't know where Arsenal's going to be. I see a lot of young players. I see Nelson, I see Saka, I see Martinelli. I see, if they're not early teenagers, they're mid-20s. I see a base of sides, and I see a young coach with Arteta. Even if he coaches even if he coaches the existing players to a consistent standard, there's only so far these players or certain additions or Arteta can take this club without the intent to be winners, be Champions League qualifiers, be Champions League winners, like Mr. Bayern Munich level once said. It's only going to come from the top. And I look at the club, if you didn't know nothing about Arsenal, would you know, or knew anything about Stan Kroenke, would you know that he owns this football club? His face is never seen about. His face is never seen about. Like, he doesn't care about this club. And it does fill me with concern for the next 5 years, man. Like, I'm 25 now. There really is a prospect of being 30 and not seeing any significant trophies. They're really, like, in the next 5 years, can we say we're going to qualify for the Champions League again? I think we are because I believe in Arteta. But is that, an educated guess, or is that just me hoping as a fan? It's the latter. So we'll see how it thingies. And I'm not advocating panic and stuff. I can't not help but think about it. And I thought, let me make a vid. But away from Arsenal, I hope it works out for Newcastle, because fans deserve at base level. There's no divine right to win Champions League, to qualify for Champions League, to do all of these things. But what fans deserve is the right to that honest man and woman with their children who's been working week in, week out, doing their job, paying their bills, looks forward to the game on a Saturday, Sunday. They have hope, they have belief in their team in whatever situation. They have belief, they just get joy from their team. And I don't think football fans always get that. And I think our love for our team and, our unhealthy obsession with football, let's call it what it is, it allows them to take advantage of that. And I think Newcastle have been taken advantage of. So I hope it's light at the end of the tunnel for them. Not too much light, because I want Arsenal to stay being decent. But you get the point. For now, though, I'm going to get out of here, man. People, Deluded. Please comment, subscribe, and do the rest if you wish. It's always a pleasure speaking to you lot. But until we meet again.